Arcus Partners?
Described in words, we're a WealthTech and managed services company. So we have a suite of products and then we have a suite of services that we provide to small and medium businesses in the wealth management and registered investment advisor space.
Since the time we started a company, we have seen a lot of gaps. We always tell our clients we are very compliance friendly because we have noticed that the systems that they have been using, there are a lot of gaps in terms of how the data is being used, how the data is being tracked, how the data is being logged. So one of the products that's really a great product, it's called Affinity 360 Docs. It's a document management system.
How do these brands work together to create a seamless digital transformation for your wealth management?
Technology is now available where the technologies that we use can all speak to each other. In fact, the ability to integrate almost any technology into another technology is now out there. Salesforce orgs, and so all that work it's already integrated. Right. Same thing with AWS, but those technologies talk to each other, and that's how we bring our solutions together. And I'm not sure what the word is to describe it. It's beyond seamless because it's all in one place.
Right. The whole world is going AI. So how do you all see that?
How will it go in the next few years? If I could predict that, I probably wouldn't be working. I think it's going to transform the way the internet and the .com world did. Right now, there's a flurry and a fury of to get there moments where you're afraid that if you're not part of it, you're going to get left behind. Your business is going to get left behind.
Biggest opportunities for growth and innovation in wealth management. Where do you see, or like geographically, or other areas as well in terms of technology?
Well,
All right, so now we get to our last section, which is a rapid fire. One word that best describes Arcus Partners.
Innovative. Yeah.
The first app you open every morning.
Actually, it's red wine for me.
It's Teams for me. I can't live without Teams.
Teams, yeah. The best piece of advice you have ever received.
Maybe never burn bridges.
Wow.
A great man once told me, never burn bridges. You know who told me this, right?
Yeah.
It is.
A book or podcast that recently inspired you. Hello Gerry. Hello Saurabh.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to our podcast, mainly about Arcus Partners, what we've been doing, about the financial industry, about the technology industry, Salesforce and everything. So this is going to be one of a podcast where we are talking technology, where we are talking how Arcus Partners came into being. So starting with you, Gerry, if you can tell us about Arcus Partners. And you being the CEO, you being the CTO, so how has Arcus Partners come into being?
Well, Arcus Partners came into being, I don't know if it was intentional, but Paul Stringer, who is the actual founder of Arcus, he and I worked together for 16 years at a financial services technology company in the US. And he had taken on a project to replace a middle office for a brokerage firm in the US. And he brought on two new technologies, well, new at the time, newer to the industry at the time, that was Salesforce and AWS. And he built a middle office application with it, and then he decided that he wanted to try and monetize that and take it to market. And I think Saurabh had done most of the development work at that time as a contractor, and the rest is history from there. I joined Arcus, Saurabh came on full time as our CTO, and that was now 7 years ago.
Yeah, and something that's common between three of us, I mean, Gerry and Paul are seniors to me, but we all started our career. Well, I know I did with SunGard, and Gerry and Paul were already executives working with SunGard at that time. And you know how they say the world is, it's small, right?
Yeah.
So I started working with Paul. I was like Gerry said, I was the first contractual developer that Paul hired. But then Paul was full of ideas. He wanted to fill in the gaps in the financial service industry. So one thing led to another. We started putting things more into practice. We started developing new softwares, and that's where things really started accelerating for us, right? And then of course we needed someone who's more strategic, comes in with with the mindset of taking us forward. And I think that Jerry, that's when you stepped in. So yeah, that's kind of how we evolved as a company.
Right, but the decision of starting a known company, right? Because you came back from job, which are secure environment, and then we all know entrepreneurship is more about it's a ship that can sail or sink if you don't have the right people or you don't have the right mindset. And so how was that as a journey, right? Because you have to make that decision, right? Where you leave your comfort zone and where you know that you're going to go from receiving the paycheck to giving paycheck, right?
True.
Because you'll have to work more harder than what you were doing in the job. So Gerry first, and then Saurabh, I would like to know how that experience was.
Well, it was interesting, and it was actually, as I was mentioning earlier, there wasn't a lot of thought that was put into the actual decision, and the story goes like this because it's the true story. I was working in corporate America, and I was going back to Singapore for the second time in 3 weeks, and I didn't want to be there. It was Sunday morning. I was in Newark Airport, and Paul Stringer called, and he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm going back to Singapore for the second time in 3 weeks, and I'm really not happy about it." And so he said, "Well, here, I got an idea, and I want you to join me in this business." And so I said, "You know what? I'm in." It was that quick.
Wow.
I never discussed it with anybody at home, which I think raised a few eyebrows when I got back. But I got back from Singapore, and then I had to serve out my time with the company I was with. And then, I guess 7 years now, I started with Arcus and Saurabh and Paul.
And so for Saurabh, how was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's been a very interesting transition. The shift in the responsibility is massive, right? Right from collecting the paycheck to paying your employees, right? It's one thing to be an employer and just doing what you're supposed to do, but then it's entire shift being a employer, and then taking responsibility of all the single employee you have in the company, right? And a lot of other responsibilities come along with it, right? Things that I've learned, things like you're not just working for yourself now. You're working for there are other people who are dependent on you. They look up to you. You're their leader, right? So you have to act responsibly. You have to work for them. You have to work with them. So so those are some of the things I would say I have learned during this transition. But yeah, it's been a massive shift in responsibility that I can tell you.
Right. What can you all tell us more about Arcus Partners? What does it do? How is it solving problems for your current clients in the wealth management and financial systems? So if you can put some light on that.
Well, as described in words, we're a WealthTech and managed services company. So we have a suite of products. And then we have a suite of services that we provide to small and medium businesses in the wealth management and registered investment advisor space. So that is, in a nutshell, who Arcus is and what we do and who we serve. But more broadly, we're a technology company, right? At the heart of it all, because technology is changing so rapidly in financial services. I know it's changing in every industry, but it's changing in financial services. It's moving very quickly, and the goal we have is to introduce platforms as a service into an industry that's used to buying technology point to point, meaning I buy this technology, it does this. I buy this one, it does this. And the revolution that's kind of happening, well, it's probably more of an evolution in terms of how it's changing. But what people are realizing is there's platforms out there now that can now do it all.
Right.
And you don't need the former point-to-points, and those technologies don't speak to each other. Well, a platform as a service like Salesforce or AWS, it's all in one place.
Right.
Salesforce as a hub is kind of the mindset behind what we do. And same thing with AWS. And so that's what's changing, and that's what's evolving in our industry, and that's where Saurabh and his skills and his team's skills come into play in terms of providing those technology solutions to this marketplace.
Saurabh, how about you? How would you describe this?
Yeah, so I think, of course, everything that Gerry said is true, and
it's not always true, so
I know. Yeah, but so it's all the change we are seeing in the financial services is it's mostly around how industry has been shaping. Like, so if you look at the technologies that have been used for over years in this industry, a lot of these are legacy technologies. And where we are helping our clients is, well, a couple of things. First is we help them with understanding the new trends in the market, right? Understanding what the new technologies are. Gerry talked about AWS, Salesforce. These are some of the top tier cloud services that our clients, well, not everyone knows about them, right? And we make sure that our clients understand these technologies, they understand the art of the possible, what we can do for them, what we have done for other firms, what are some of the best practices that can be implemented, right? So, I mean, those days are gone where you have to stack up the server space and you have to maintain them. Nobody does that anymore, right? But not everyone understands that, right?
Correct.
The world is actually moved far away from that kind of an approach. But we are helping our clients, understand those new things, those new technologies. We help them with the adoption. We help them with, with the guidance. But yeah, I would say those are some of the things that we are working with the industry on.
Okay. So my next question would be, how do you balance the tension between the legacy and technology? Why? Because firms want to modernize without losing already what they call it works well for us right now. So how do you cater to that challenge? Yeah.
It's an interesting question because it's a challenge in every industry. But I would say the one-word answer to it is education. So we find ourselves educating every single one of our clients on not just how our technology solutions help them, but the actual technologies in general. Because most of these companies, we're making this shift in the financial space from technology being an enabler to technology being the business itself, how you grow the business. And that's a big shift in mindset more than anything. So, but we still find ourselves having to educate people on, what is a platform as a service?
Right.
And how is that different from you buying a traditional legacy application or a legacy SaaS application in your business? And so I would say education is probably, where we spend most of our time.
And Saurabh, for you?
Yeah, and I think in my opinion is, well, like you said, like my system is working well for me. And we get that, right? And we don't go in with the mindset of replacing everything. That's not the point. It's sure the system is working for you, but there are nuances, right? So your system is probably 15 years old. I get that it's working for you, but can you do things better, right? That's the kind of question you need to ask yourself, right?
Right.
We help our clients understand what they can do better with those systems, right? Now, do we want to replace it? Maybe not. Maybe you don't need to do that, but maybe there are other systems that you haven't done any research on or you haven't looked at it. So that's where we can help you, right? So not every system needs to be replaced. If it's working fine for you, if it's doing the job for you, that's fine. But then we make it a point that the clients at least understand, what the possibilities are. What are the new systems in the market? Like what are the new compliance-driven processes are there in the market? So they need to understand those things, right? So that's where we focus on.
Right, but don't you feel that when you start working with a new client, for example, in the start, it's difficult for them to see the changes quickly, right? Because the system takes time, where you are doing due diligence with them in the start, where with performance-wise, they understand that maybe it's saving cost, maybe it's saving their time, maybe other things. The problem the challenges has been resolved. So how do you all help client to understand that this will help you, but it will take time, or
Well, the other. So to answer your question, the other big evolution that's taking place is, as I said earlier, technology used to be just an enabler. Well, now it's impossible to run your business and not take the time to actually understand technology.
Correct.
Where in the past, it was okay. Yeah, we'll use that, and,
Right.
and we're gonna have to. And I only want to learn what I need to learn in order to do my business. Well, now that is your business, and so you have to learn the technologies. And I'd say one of the things that is happening on the business side is the amount of technologies and the amount of apps that people have to actually learn how to use is overwhelming.
right?
And so I would say in a lot of cases you've got tech burnout. So we have to talk people past, we have to educate them past tech burnout to show them that there is a startup cost to this, meaning you have to learn. But once you get past that and you start to really learn the technology, you'll see that it really is something that you can just grow into quickly. And the training side of things, where in the past I had to learn that application, then I had to learn that one, and that's kind of going away. But again, it's about educating people on that side of it as well. And then there's the cost, the whole cost concept and cost topic.
Right.
10 years ago, the best technologies were only available to the top firms with big budgets.
Yeah.
Well, now the top technologies are available to everybody. And that's probably the other major shift. So I'd say it's education and the cost of technology that, 10 years ago, most firms, at least the target market we talked to, it wasn't even in the realm of possibilities for them to afford. So, and now it is.
Yeah.
And for you, when you are handling the technology bit, when you have that challenge that maybe, okay, so the client is convinced with the technology and everything, but when the question comes to cost, so how do you deal with that? So, because you have to give few numbers, obviously you have to show them.
Correct.
So how does that challenge come to you?
Well, it comes in a lot of different ways. It's like every firm that we work with, and it's just like Gerry mentioned, they're using 100 of different apps today, right? And it's always a question of, do we really need it, right? Is this something that our business really needs, right? Or are there any other systems which will maybe offer the same feature and functionality and they're a bit cheaper, right? So cost it really depends upon what the firm is, what they need, right? I mean, the costing is a factor that unfortunately is not in our control, right? It's a decision that the firm needs to make, whether they need a particular piece of software or they don't. But as a technology providers, we work with them to give them options that okay, it's a competitive market. It doesn't really matter what kind of product you're buying, Mayuresh. It really depends upon which product you're looking at, what features they offer. There are always going to be pros and cons in every software you look at, right? And with those pros and cons, the pricing is going to shift. Right? So what we really encourage, so I'll give you an example. I've been working with one of the client who's had used 3 different marketing systems before. Now they're looking at the 4th one, right? And they come to us asking, guys, what do you guys recommend, right? I mean, of course, cost is a big concern for us, but then what can we do as a company to get the best software out there for our company? Because we have used 3 of those in the past and they haven't worked, right? So I always suggest them, please focus on the features and functionalities that you need. Right? Why don't you ask yourself a question? Why don't you huddle internally and just talk to your team and get a good understanding of what are the kind of system your company needs? What is a priority for you?
Right.
And again, marketing, Mayuresh, you run a company in marketing. Marketing it's huge, right? There are so many different segments of marketing.
Absolutely.
Right? From digital marketing to email marketing to whatever different types of marketing are there, right? So it's really important to understand what kind of marketing features do you need in that application. Do you want to send out emails? Do you want to track those emails? Do you want to run campaigns?
Absolutely.
Right? So that's how we encourage our clients. Pricing is always going to be a factor, but that shouldn't be something that should be demotivating, and we don't ask you to move away from that. In fact, we encourage you that yes, there are going to be pros and cons in each feature, and every product is going to be different in terms of pricing. But when you make a decision, right? Pricing is an important factor, but what's even more important is you choose the right product for your company.
Right.
The product that fulfills your need. That's in my opinion, that's more important.
Okay.
The other side to that topic of cost is one of the other shifts that we have to educate people on is it's no longer I'm buying this application, I'm buying that application. What we need to do, and I think the concept of selling on value has always been there. It's not a new concept. But now technology's caught up to that, where you can actually show people how adopting a particular technology platform, that the more they do on that platform, the less expensive it gets to run the platform. And platforms like Salesforce and AWS are probably two of the most glaring examples of.
That's right.
Up front, they might not be the low-cost provider, but as you show people how they can move that application and that function, and which was costing you time and money into one place, then you can show them how the value add on their initial investment starts to become real, and it starts to become much higher as they add more features and functions to that platform. So that's the other cost perspective. It's no longer just, well, this one I pay this much every month for, or this one I bought outright. It's, it is a picture of, well, I have all these technologies. How do I bring it all into one place and drive my costs down, but my value way up?
Right.
And something to keep in mind here. So when we talk about the cost, right? There is a product cost and there is an implementation cost or a service cost for any product, right? Product cost is unfortunately something that's cannot be controlled.
Correct.
Most of these are big platforms, AWS, Salesforce, Azure, right? And their pricing is already fixed. On the other hand, right, when we provide technology or when we provide services to our client, that's where we can do more for them in terms of saving their cost. Okay, maybe recommending them, okay, you don't need this service, maybe you can use something like this service, so
Right.
that you can save some money.
Right.
That's where we come in, right? So those are going to be our recommendation in terms of what services they should be using, how should be using them. That's where the cost savings are. When it comes to actual products, Meuresh, we really have little or no control over those prices because they're owned by the big companies.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how do you all see yourselves as consultants most of the time in your roles? Why? Because direct selling nowadays, people understand that you're trying to sell, but when you turn a hat of a consultant, where the client feels that no, you're trying to help them more than to sell them. So, does that come in your goals ever, or is it a part of job and goes hand in hand?
It definitely goes hand in hand because, as I mentioned earlier, it's really an education process, and whether people want to be educated on technology or not, that's what it becomes. And so we spend a lot of time not really educating people on the business, but on how technology is their business.
Yeah.
Right.
And how that's going to help them grow more than in the past. So, that's really the point about it.
Okay. So, yeah. So,
And I would say, it's running a company our size. Gerry would agree. It's wearing a lot of hats. Right? It's not just about being a consultant, right? That's what represents our service part of business. But then you have to be a thought leader, and
Yes.
that's where our product size of business comes in. So it's like a dual track kind of a mindset we need to have in our business. But yeah, that's what I would add here. That's been my perspective.
Okay. So Arcus Partners operates on a few hero products, Arcus 360, Finity 360, and Synthify. So if you can break down those products for us, so that the people watching this can have an idea what each and every product does. And if at all, if I've missed out anything, I think you can add the AI one as well.
So I think the way we look at our products and services, so we have 3 product suites and 2 service suites now, and we continue to add to that as we see opportunities to innovate with technology. The first suite that was developed was a suite of native Salesforce applications that were really operationally minded. So they're a complete middle office in one package that our clients can buy a la carte. So as they see a need in their business, again, as I said, they can move more and more to one platform as they retire other applications. Our foundational architectural platform, AWS, we built our data lake on top of that, and that's really coming to its own as people try to aggregate data into one place. As you know, being able to mine your data as a company is more and more important, and now the technology's caught up to that capability. And so Synthify allows our clients to integrate multiple platforms and multiple sets of data into one place and then be able to mine that. We cap that off now with Arcus X, which is our own artificial intelligence platform, and that is built on AWS's Bedrock. But that's the capper, right? So we have our applications which feed Synthify, which is our data lake, which is powered by our artificial intelligence app, Arcus X. And so that's kind of how it's coming to its own. And our services business support all of that.
Okay. Sort of your take on the platforms and how they could solve problems of the firms?
Well, so since the time we started a company, we have seen a lot of gaps, right? We always tell our clients we are very compliance friendly because we have noticed that the systems that they have been using, there are a lot of gaps in terms of how the data is being used, how the data is being tracked, how the data is being logged. So one of the products that's really, that's really a great product. It's called Affinity 360 Docs. It's a document management system within Salesforce, right? And we use two of the best platforms to build out that product, right? So it's Salesforce, and we use AWS as a backend technology to create that magic. That product has been really great because it allows you to store documents in your Salesforce. You can store them natively. You can use all the power of Salesforce. You can create automations. You can create workflows. You can create approval processes. On top of that, that application is compliant, meaning if the auditor knocks on your door and he asks you for a document for a specific client, asking you to go back 8 years and pull out those documents for that client or that advisor, it's very easy to do that. Right, and that's just one of the softwares that I'm talking about, Mayuresh. There are so many other softwares that we have made. They're compliance friendly. So I think we have done a great job in understanding the industry, doing more research on what the regulators need, what are the common struggles that the financial service firms have, and that's where we have focused more of our products and our energy, building those type of products.
Right. So, Gerry, how do these brands work together to create a seamless digital transformation for your wealth management firms? So, if you could.
Well, technology is now available where the technologies that we use can all speak to each other. In fact, the ability to integrate almost any technology into another technology is now out there, right? So it's time and money in order to do that, but the technical ability to do that is there now, which 10 years ago it probably wasn't in most cases. Now it is. So, but all of our apps are built on we've built them on the premise of two things. One, we don't host anything for anybody, so these are all native cloud applications. And two, we don't want to own anybody's data. And the AWS platform and the Salesforce platform allow us to work on behalf of our clients inside those platforms for them. And so that's how everything's integrated. Our Affinity 360 suite they are all native Salesforce applications, meaning they're all inside our clients' Salesforce orgs. And so all that work it's already integrated. Right. Same thing with AWS, but those technologies talk to each other, and that's how we bring our solutions together. And I'm not sure what the word is to describe it. It's beyond seamless because it's all in one place.
Right. So what client success stories make you most proud? Like, where you saw true transformation happen. So you all can add to this because, I think this is something that probably people would want to hear. That is something where I want to go for.
Yeah, I mean there are multiple success stories, but so in few cases, Mayuresh, we have seen, and this is a struggle in the industry. We have seen a lot of the times clients are coming to us because they haven't had a great success with their previous Salesforce partner, right? There are a lot of people in the Salesforce space who are doing implementations, but this industry that we work in, this industry is different, right? This industry requires you to have deep knowledge and expertise around this domain, right? It's one thing to just get the data, put the data into the new system, and do the implementations, but it's a complete different thing to actually understand the data of your client and then working around that data and implementing their practices, their processes. That's what we focus on. Right now, Gerry always says this, that McDonald's doesn't sell hot dogs. He always tells me that, and we live by that principle, meaning we are extremely good in what we do, right? And we always make sure that any implementation that we're doing, we are doing this with all the right best practices, right? And that makes our clients very happy. So going back to your question, we have done a lot of successful implementations which have failed before, and there could be multiple factors. One of the common factors that we have seen is lack of knowledge of a previous partner about the broker-dealer RIA space, not having enough understanding about how the industry works, but that's where we come in. Right? And we have helped a lot of those customers, and we have heard a lot of great phases from them about how good we are and how we help them to transform their Salesforce. They can now see the true value of the money that they're putting into these platforms. And we just don't go in, Mayuresh, we just don't go in, let's do the implementation. We don't go in with that mindset. We have products that bridge the gap. Right? So we consider ourselves like true partners, where we just don't come in to do your implementations. We also would encourage you to look at our other products, so we'll change the way you do things, that your advisors will love. It's all about adding the simplicity in your processes, giving them big buttons, things that they can understand, making things easier for advisors. That's what we focus on. Education. Yeah, going back to education, where Gerry started. Yeah.
So any success stories you can share for a client where actually they feel that, hey Gerry, this is something amazing that you have done for us.
Well, I think the biggest success story is just an overarching transformation that's happening, and that is, it used to be in the industry that you had the business people and you had the technical people. Well, now they're slowly becoming one and the same.
Right.
Again, because of education and because of technologies changing. Yeah. Technology is now the growth driver. So the business people can't keep to themselves. The tech people can't keep to themselves. It's one and the same. And to Saurabh's point, we find ourselves the consultant, educating people on the technology to show them how they can grow their business on it, because that is where the growth in their business comes from now. It's changed dramatically. But I would say those are probably some of our biggest achievements, that we're showing an industry that is focused on managing wealth, how technology can become their business and how that helps their clients.
Right.
And so I would say that's probably our biggest achievement. We're educating people on how technology is changing the world, and in financial services, it really is materially changing things.
So Salesforce is often seen as the gold standard in CRM. Yet many firms struggle, with adoption. What are the most common roadblocks that you see, and how do you help these firms overcome that? And maybe even if it's with AWS, if you can club the answer.
I would say complex processes, lack of adoption, too many disconnected systems, not talking to each other. In some cases, the problem is opposite. It's not lack of adoption, it's over adoption, right? Too much going on in the Salesforce org or the instance that is now hard to keep up with. That's what we call a technical debt, So, yeah, but those are some of the things that I have noticed when I talk to our clients almost every day, clients and prospects both, right? So,
right, Gerry, you would want to add this?
I think the biggest challenge is the fact that Salesforce's ticker symbol is CRM. The platform itself started out as a customer relationship management tool, and then I would say I agree with you that it's probably at least it's probably number one in that space. But more importantly, it's become more than a CRM tool. It truly is a development platform, and our challenge is showing people that Salesforce is not just a CRM.
Correct.
You can do. We haven't found anything you can't do on it.
Right.
So if you have the business knowledge and you can apply that to the technology, you can build any business process on Salesforce. And it's that understanding, again, it comes back to education. It's that understanding that most of our clients don't have. They see and are sold Salesforce as a CRM to get all their customer data into one place. Well, it's so much more than that, and that's our biggest challenge, is educating people on that. It is a platform as a service where you can run your entire business through it, versus a CRM. So
correct. And to Gerry's point, we have seen a curve of Salesforce. It started out as a CRM. When I started my career, 2008, it was a CRM, right? And they had Sales Cloud. Now, if you look at Salesforce, it has evolved into this huge platform where they probably have product for every industry. So
Right.
Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, what we use is a Financial Service Cloud, right? And then you have Manufacturing Cloud, Pharmaceutical Cloud. There's just so many clouds, and Marketing Cloud, so it's evolved into a huge platform. And that's where our struggle is. We have to explain this to our clients and prospects that it's not just CRM.
Right.
It's a very powerful platform that can transform your entire business,
Right.
right? So yeah,
So you've developed enhancements like Salesforce as a hub. That sounds game changing to me.
Yeah.
Why? Because so can you describe how that works and how it simplifies the work for your clients? Um, sort of, Gerry.
Well, it comes back down to that's a concept, Salesforce as a hub, but that's how we present Salesforce. It's actually how Salesforce presents itself these days, where it is as I was just saying, it has become the hub of technology and their data for their business. So, and our job is to show them how to make that happen. And so that's the Salesforce as a hub concept. Because it's a platform as a service where like I said, you can do anything on it. If you have the business knowledge and the technical skills, you can build anything on it.
that's right. And the way I would describe it is, we, with hundreds of applications that our clients are using every day, right? It can be the applications they use for chatting, it can be the applications or any other web applications they're using, the custodian systems they're using. We try to simplify things. So Salesforce as a hub, when we talk about that concept, it's really about staying in one place, but then accessing all these 100 different systems with ease, right? We don't want advisors toggling between 10 different screens, right? We want them to be in one place, right? Just give them buttons that they can click on. They can do a single sign-on, and they can get to any application that they want.
Right.
And it goes beyond single sign-on. It's not just about that. It's also about the way we handle the data. How can I be in just Salesforce and I can see a summary of my custodial data? I can see the summary of my portfolio management system data, or any other system that I'm talking to. How can I directly see the risk about my clients directly in Salesforce? So we do those integrations with our tools like Riskalyze, or some other tools. So that's really that's where that concept evolves, right? So it's you be in one place, you be in Salesforce, but being in one place, you should be able to access all the other 100 different systems your firm has.
Right. So how do you all see AI, machine learning, data, the way the advisors and investors you're working with, or people or clients you're working with? Because the whole world is going AI. So how do you all see that? And how is Arcus Partners, as you said, we've got AI product for that as well. So that's my question. How do you all see, and how will it grow in the next few years?
Well, how will it go in the next few years? If I could predict that, I probably wouldn't be working. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to transform the way the internet and the .com world did. Right.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a flurry and a fury to get there moments where you're afraid that if you're not part of it, you're going to get left behind. Your business is going to get left behind.
Exactly.
But for us, we've tried to keep it simple so that we can present it and educate people on AI. And if Salesforce is your hub of your data, and all of your data is in one place, then using your artificial intelligence to mine that data and improve your business processes becomes much easier to do. The question you previously asked, one of the biggest challenges is right now, technologies become available, but it didn't all talk. Well, in most cases right now, people still have to put the same data into 7 different systems.
Right.
Salesforce gives you the ability to put your data in one place, and then now with artificial intelligence, to your question, mine that data from one place. Because having to mine it from 7 different places with artificial intelligence is not going to give you a complete picture of your business.
Right.
So you've got to get your data into one place in order for artificial intelligence to really be powerful. And so people are going to have to learn that. And again, it all comes back down to technical education.
Technical education.
Correct.
Saurabh?
Yeah, and just like Gerry said, it's about education, right? So what our clients look at us for is, okay, what would you recommend as our technology partner on how we can use the AI, right? So AI is a revolution. It's like what Google was 20 years back, right? The problem is Google was more easy to use.
Yeah.
Just type in a keyword, you'll get the results. Whereas AI is where it gets complex.
Right.
It could mean a lot of things for the firms, right? It goes right from data mining to asking questions with a simple prompts, right? You can also upload your documents, you can ask questions about those documents. So there are so many different use cases that we see today.
Right.
And we have built a lot of different use cases for our clients. And one thing that we are actually doing now, Meuresh, is we have actually started demonstrating how AI can be used to our clients. Right? It's the hottest selling piece of cake right now. Everybody wants to get their hands on AI, but nobody really understands how to use it in the business. Like, what is the actual business application?
Right.
Right? How is it going to help us? How is it going to make life easier for our firm from the technology or compliance standpoint, or how is it going to simplify things for our advisors or their assistants in getting getting to the right data? So we are building tools like meeting prep guides, where with the click of a button you generate all the meeting data for your client. It scrolls through every single data point you have in Salesforce and it generates the summary for you. We are doing integrations with the third-party transcript applications where we are bringing that in, and with the click of a button we are generating the action items for our clients, right? We have also developed a lot of compliance applications where advisors can stay in their Salesforce and they'll get like a widget that they can ask questions upon. Right? But that AI is not going to talk to the outside world. It's going to be strictly restricted to the firm's data. And again, this is done to protect the compliances and to maintain the standards of our AI.
Right. So Saurabh, as a CTO, since you're at the intersection of technology and strategy, so how do you prioritize innovation while ensuring stability and security in financial tech?
Well, that's a good question, Manish. So as a CTO, I think well, the answer is twofold, right? So first is, as a CTO, what's most important for me is security. And it comes in a lot of ways, right? It comes security for protecting our data, our products, and the services that we are responsible for, right? So we have a data for a lot of our clients, right? And we follow best practices around how that data should be managed, how that data should be encrypted, how that data should be protected, how that data should be handled. Right, so I would say that's like a primary responsibility of me being a CTO, is making sure that we are doing our business with right security measures, we are following all the right compliances, we are following all the right regulations, right? So that's one part of it. The other part of it is innovation. It's always being on your toes and understanding what innovations are needed in today's world. So we were just talking about AI a minute before, right? That's the biggest innovation, right? And of course, that's where, as a firm, it's just like Gerry said, if you're not there, you're going to be left behind. We don't want to be left behind. We want to be with that pace. So every day is a new day, right? Every day is a new innovation at Arcus. We encourage our employees to learn new things. And what's really great about us, Meuresh, is we are a Salesforce consulting partner and we are AWS technical partners. And what that does for us, it gives us access to best of their technologies before the world has even seen them or have access to them. So that helps us to build new products on top of those platforms. It helps us to innovate. It helps us to think out of the box, right? But that's how I would categorize my job responsibility. Is it's twofold. It's security and at the same time making sure that we are innovating.
Okay, perfect. Gerry, what would you say as a CEO? What are the challenges that you see in this industry, and what are the things that you would want your audience to understand? Where when a company like Arcus Partners comes in with solutions, so that's something that you would want to talk to them, so that this is something that you should look out for example.
Well, I think your original question to Saurabh was how do you balance innovation with delivery, so to speak. And that's a challenge for every company, no matter how big or how small. The way to overcome that in any size company is to stay focused on what you need to do to be successful with the business, and that's delivering with clients, but yet continuing to innovate. Every company struggles with that. In fact, the bigger companies, in my opinion, have a much harder time. We're nimble, we can shift our focus, but the downside for us is delivery suffers when we decide to innovate and go down a different path because we only have so many resources.
Correct.
And so again, it's about balancing that the innovation and the actual delivery of what you already have. And we can do a good job of that. And again, the technologies that are available these days allow us to do that. So your question about artificial intelligence, well, artificial intelligence helps us innovate faster. Right? Again, it allows us to be more productive at both jobs, delivering to our clients and continuing to innovate as a small company. Right? One of the biggest problems with any company is you get diverted from what's really important in front of you day to day. You start chasing something over here. You hear a new idea over here, so you start looking at that, and you lose focus on what you're supposed to be doing to get you, to the end of the month, the end of the quarter, the end of the year.
Right.
So I would say it's that balance of innovating with delivery that is probably the biggest challenge in a small company.
Okay. So since both of y'all have a deep global experience, how has that shaped culture at Arcus Partners and the client approach overall? So it's Gerry and Saurabh, both of y'all, if you can answer.
Well, I think our experience or my experience in running global businesses allowed me to keep my options open in terms of how you build a company and how you grow a company, and not looking out and is a problem for any company in terms of ideas and delivery and growth. I believed in there's people all over the world that have a lot to offer, and if you shut them out for any particular reason, time zone differences, cultural differences, whatever, you're going to lose out. And so that's how Arcus was built. Paul and I spent a lot of time working in India, and working in Europe and working in other parts of Asia, that we weren't afraid to say this is how we want to build our business. You don't need to be a brick and mortar in one particular city and in one particular country anymore.
Correct.
You can be a virtual business everywhere and just bring on the best talent, the best ideas. And that's how we built Arcus. Just like we don't want to own our clients' data. Well, I don't want to shut out a great idea from somewhere else simply because they're not in the office in a particular city and state.
Right. Sir?
Yeah, so I would say, we promote innovations in our company. We promote curiosity. Right, they are very important factors. The way our culture is built, Mayuresh, is, and I may have mentioned this, the part about being a company our size is you have to wear a lot of hats, right? And it's really great because there is so much to learn.
Yeah.
Right, every day is a new day, right? You're learning new things every time, and we don't hold our employees back. Like, okay, you want to learn AI, you can learn AI. You want to learn Salesforce, you can learn Salesforce. And Salesforce has different career paths, right? So it's not just being about developer or being an administrator, right? You can be a business administrator. You may want to do your career in marketing, right? You can be a marketing expert and work on tools like Padot, account engagement, or Marketing Cloud. So we really promote learning. We promote learning a lot within our firm, right? So it's really about, we push our employees to learn something new, ask questions, be a thought leaders, and we support them in every way we can. And I think we also want our employees we also try and make sure that our employees are always client facing. They understand what the real industry looks like. We want them to travel. We want them to meet our clients, talk to them. So those are the kind of culture that we are promoting within our company to make sure that our employees are happy, right? They're learning every day.
Right.
Your question actually made me think a little bit about conceptually the difference between working for a small company in an entrepreneurial environment and working for a bigger company. And I would say I'm beginning to enjoy more the people who take a chance to come work for a startup and a small company versus the people who take a job at a big company because it's safe.
Yeah.
I think you get more from your team members that have that kind of mentality where they've taken a job with a small company and and we have an environment that allows their ideas and thoughts to flourish, as
Right.
opposed to in a big company, they don't really want to hear what you have to say. They just want you to do the
Correct.
job.
Do the job.
So you asking that question made me think about that, and I would say that's probably the best thing about
Yeah.
the culture we're building is people don't have to be silent. They're not just here's your task, get it done, and
Correct.
don't vary from that.
Amazing.
That I would say that's probably the biggest change that I've experienced.
I completely
Amazing.
agree. And so we have employees, Mayresh, who have been part of big companies.
Yeah.
And well, the problem with big companies is they are more process driven, they're more streamlined.
Right, exactly.
And that's the reason you get into a job and you have 3 tasks to complete, ABC, and you keep doing that
Right.
without any question, right? That's your job, that's your task. And that's where the learning becomes a bit of a challenge because, well, you just don't have those type of projects that you want to work on.
Right.
You hear about a lot of these new things like Agent Force and some of the new innovations that are coming in the industry, but you don't really have a chance to work on them.
Correct.
That becomes a problem, right? And we have employees who are extremely happy. They have been working for some big firms, right, where they were really bored because they were every day in the office. You go and you start your laptop and you have been given a task.
Absolutely.
You complete that task.
Yeah.
You finish your day, right? But there are no new learning opportunities, and that holds you back. That holds you back in your career.
True.
Right. So yeah. So that's and Gerry is right. That's the kind of those are the kind of employees even we have. Right? They're
Yeah.
extremely happy now because they're learning
Amazing.
everything.
Amazing. So I think that is very important nowadays because
Yeah.
a lot of people have realized that just not working for a big company and just taking that paycheck is not important. What we have realized nowadays is having a meaning to your job and making yourself count matters the most. And I think what y'all have set up is that kind of an environment.
Correct.
So I think that's really amazing. So what would be that one piece of advice to the financial firms hesitant about digital transformation? What would be that one piece of advice, one from both of you all?
Well, their business is going to suffer over the next 3 to 5 to 10 years if they don't, if they're not willing to change, if they're not willing to transform their business. And sadly enough, the term digital transformation has been so overused, but it's still, it really is, it's come into its own in the last, I'd say, 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Since COVID, right? Where
Right.
all of a sudden, having paper on your desk and in the file cabinet, went out the window real fast. And
Yeah.
everything had to be digital, and so everybody had to change their mindset. But I think people struggle with the rate of adoption, and if they don't start to adopt technology faster, because it is how their business is going to grow. If they don't start to adopt technology faster, they are going to fall behind their competitors real fast.
So
Yeah, and I agree with Gerry, and I think it's they will have to open. I mean, they'll have to be more open towards hearing what the industry has to say. You can't function with those 20-year-old technologies in today's world. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Everything is changing, Mayresh, right? Right from the apps you use, the phones you use, AI is transforming everything, right? And I think within the next 5 years, we'll see that huge revolutionary curve where we are not adding destinations. Where do you want to travel? I want to travel from Mumbai to San Francisco. That's not how it's going to work. You just
Yeah.
tell AI what you want, and it's going to give you the list of the flights. So
Absolutely.
that's and you will see those type of things already shaping right now, right? So everything is changing, and with this change, you don't want to be left behind, right? And that's what I would recommend the firms to really get out there, start doing some research, start understanding technology more, right?
Right.
And talk to Arcus more. We'll
Yeah.
help you. We'll help you get there.
Well, again, educating our clients is
Yeah.
what we do every single day. And
Absolutely. So going ahead or looking ahead, where do you see the biggest opportunities for growth and innovation in wealth management? Where do you see, or like geographically, or other areas as well in terms of technology?
well, it's the biggest areas for growth is it's actually pretty simple. We're in the best position I think any company can be. We've got a suite of products built on the best technologies, servicing an industry that's just starting to evolve.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so we're there at the. I would say if we had gotten there maybe a few years earlier, we would really been on the the beginning of it all, but we're right in the crosshairs of where we need to be, at least in the financial services industry right now, because technology is taking over and it's not gonna back up.
Right.
And so we have the business knowledge, we have the technology knowledge, and we've got the skill sets to bring that to our clients and to the marketplace, and we're in the right place at the right time.
I agree. Now,
You agree?
yeah, and I totally agree. And it's like I said, when you ask a question where the industry is heading, I think in so many ways I've already answered that question. That I do see AI changing everything, Mayuresh. And yeah, that's what I would say. That's where I see the most of the growth happening in the future. And it's just like Gerry said, we are at the right place at the right time, and we're making a very good use of that technology.
Okay. Finally, what's next for Arcus Partners? Any exciting, innovations or partnerships, or you can tease, for our listeners, something that you can drop, and obviously about Arcwin, we'll talk about that as well.
Well, we're going to continue to grow. Our biggest challenge as a company in the marketplace right now is getting our name out there, so that people can see what we're capable of doing and what we've done with the technologies that we have. So that's probably our biggest challenge. But again, the growth opportunity for our business is absolutely out there. It's about us making sure people understand who Arcus is and what we do. In terms of new products and services, there's ideas that come up every single day, and our challenge is to kind of corral that, stay focused, as I said earlier, on delivering on what we need to, but also making sure we continue to innovate as a small company. We've been on the AI train now for as long as it's been mainstream. I think probably 80% of the work we do over the next 5 years is going to be about artificial intelligence and use cases around that. People are coming up with new ideas about how to use it every single day. And again, it's going to be about corralling all those thoughts and making sure that we're doing great work with what we are doing, and showing them how they can stay focused on the few things that give them the greatest benefit in the short term, while they're still thinking about what's next. And that's the same for the whole business Arcus. We're in the process of developing an alternative investment platform, which most of our clients do alternative investments now. And as far as we can see, there isn't a alt platform out there in the Salesforce world. And so we're taking a dive into that space. So I would say from a product perspective, that's next. But again, it's about educating people for us on how Synthify, Salesforce, and Arcus X all play together, and how that helps them solve business problems, grow their business.
Yeah, and I would say, we definitely want to be recognized more, like Gerry said. We want to build much better products, right, as we evolve, right? We want to hire best of the talent throughout the globe, right? We of course want to expand our business because we just see there are so many opportunities right now. So yeah, but those are some of the things that I would say is the growth for Arcus. We want to of course get our our employees more certified in Salesforce, right? So that's where the real I would say growth is for our company, right? We also want to grow more in the tier of the partnership with Salesforce, right? So that's another area where I would focus this year or the coming year.
Right.
But yeah, I would say these are some of the top things that we would like to focus.
Lovely. Let's talk about Arcwin. Gerry and Saurabh, if you want to introduce Arcwin.
Arcwin was an idea from our team, a small subset of our team members, and it was launched around the idea of how do we differentiate Arcus from all the other players in the space. Everybody's got access to technology. Everybody's got podcasts, and they're trying to show how they differentiate their business. And I think, at least conceptually, when it was presented to me, my whole thought was, well, we're going back in time to kind of an older school way of differentiating our brand, and that's where the team came up with Arcwin, which is it's kind of a spin-off of the Geico Gecko, because I think people want to watch short video clips.
Yeah.
They don't want to read flat file text anymore. So they don't want to get an email marketing outreach. They are reading, Instagram, and they're reading LinkedIn, but it's all flat. Most of it's still flat text. So we thought about doing more videos, and we are doing more short videos. We thought about podcasting, but there's a lot of podcasts out there. So how do you differentiate yourself? Well, we're going down Arcwin is our new brand ambassador, and the innovative, smart team of people that came up with that. I think they hit the nail on the head, and so I can't wait to launch it out there and start showing how it works with Arcus and the industry.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Saurabh,
No,
your take on
that's
Arcwin?
Gerry's area. I think he's covered enough.
It's covered.
Yeah. We can move on.
I want people to watch a short reel or video clip or whatever you call it these days, and I want them to chuckle. I want them to laugh and be like, okay. Well, and start to associate that with Arcus Partners. So
Amazing.
we're an innovative company that is getting our name out there via Arcwin.
Yeah, so can you describe the characteristics of Arcwin? How would he be in character?
Well, he's a character that's going to represent innovation, smart thinking, curious, all the above, because that's kind of what Arcus is, right? So we just finished talking about we're a small company that is still innovating and delivering on what we have to do, and that's the character that Arcwin is going to be. It's a white fox. And I think all those characteristics are true of Arcus and true of a fox. So
yeah, amazing. And could you throw light on Creative Edge that you've newly signed with?
Absolutely. Well, as we've talked about with the rest of our business, we've tried to be a one-stop shop for small to medium businesses in the wealth management and registered investment advisor space. And one of the things that's missing in this digital age from a small company's skill sets is the ability to deliver on what I call real-time marketing. So marketing is no longer, as you're obviously well aware, it's no longer you've got a month to put a campaign in place, a marketing campaign. You've got to be able to do social media management daily, right? You've got to be able to defend your brand daily, and that just takes a lot of work. And so all of our clients are small, and so they don't have the resources or the skill sets to do all that.
That's right.
They want it all, but they don't have the resources to do it. And so that's where Creative Edge comes into play. We provide all those skill sets on a fractional basis to our clients, and it really completes the Arcus offering. We can be everything to a small to medium business in the wealth space with all of our services and all of our products, and Creative Edge rounds it out.
Amazing. Sorry, would you like to add anything on?
No, I think Gerry is, again, a Gerry's area.
It's a Gerry,
yeah.
All right, so now we get to our last section, which is a rapid fire. And these are the questions for both of y'all, and then we'll also deal in with some specific rapid fire questions for both of y'all. Okay, one word that best describes Arcus Partners.
Innovative.
Innovative. Coffee or tea while brainstorming?
It's tea for me.
It's tea for you.
It's coffee for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first app you open every morning?
Actually, it's red wine for me.
It's Teams for me. I can't live without Teams.
Teams, yeah?
Yeah.
Teams for you?
I open Salesforce because I run my day now out of Salesforce. So that's probably, and I try and stay away from the news. So.
Okay. So that's good. The best piece of advice you have ever received?
In the business world, I worked for somebody way back who said, worry about what's important. I mean, that's a pretty broad statement, but if you think about that every single day, what's most important that you accomplish in a single day? Well, worry about what's important. So I think it's held pretty true.
Saurabh?
A lot of great phrases. I don't know. Maybe never burn bridges.
Wow.
A great man once told me, never burn bridges. You know who told me this, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Well, it's come into play. Right? I mean, as the world gets smaller and smaller via technology, and it's amazing. people you thought you left behind 30 years ago are now all of a sudden right there next to you on LinkedIn.
Yeah. A book or podcast that recently inspired you?
I'm a history buff, so I don't have one off the top of my head.
Okay. Saurabh, you can think about it.
Yeah, not a podcast, but I did see a great movie called Whiplash.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you have seen that. I love that movie.
Okay.
That's the musical, isn't that that's the musical theme movie?
It's a musical.
Yeah,
It's the drum
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's an
Okay.
amazing movie.
What's one technology you can't live without?
Well, mobile phones maybe.
Mobile phones?
Yeah, we need it every day.
Jerry?
Yeah, the mobile device.
Mobile device.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite productivity hack or tool?
I would say for me, like I'm more a tech guy. I would say VS Code for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite productivity hack. Favorite productivity tool? Wow. I would say my favorite productivity tool is kind of how my mind works, where I'm pretty detail oriented, and I try and work in the here and now, and so in my mind I keep things square on staying focused. And, I still use notebooks and pen, but I also use apps to keep things. But at the end of the day, I think it's from the way my mind works every day. I'm pretty disciplined, and I keep sort of the top 3 things of the day important in my mind. So I would say for me, that's that.
Wow, great. If you could automate anything in your daily life, what would that be?
Well, I can literally think of 100 different things, Mayuresh, in terms of work that I can automate. It's hard to just pinpoint one. And again, it could start from, and this is probably a boring answer, right?
Yeah.
From automating some of the reports for our clients to automating how we deliver their sprints, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a single answer for you. There are just so many things I can think about.
Okay. Jerry?
What would I automate if I could? I would automate. No, I was going to say I would automate downtime, but that's. I think people are trying to get too much done every single day now because of automation. So I don't know what I would say there. I don't know. I mean, what I would automate is being able to use fewer technologies to do one thing, right? There's an app for everything, obviously, right?
Right.
And I think that's just too much. It's too overwhelming. And I think you're starting to see that in people, right? You know, the younger generation, they can't live. I could live without my phone,
They can.
but they can't.
They can.
They can.
That's right.
And I think that's creating a whole new set of mental stresses that, again, the only way to overcome it is to you do it less. So I don't know what I'd automate more other than having to use less technology to live my life.
Right. Amazing. One last question specifically for you all. Gerry, for you, the toughest decision you've made as a CEO?
At Arcus?
Yeah.
You may not believe this, but there really haven't been any tough decisions. There's been no life-threatening, decisions I've had to make. There's been no, game-changing decisions I've had to make as part of Arcus, and I think that's been part of the enjoyment of being of owning a business like this is that, the decisions I make affect other people, but I think we've grown Arcus at a pace where we haven't had to make a profound decision we watch our pennies, and we're smart about running the business because we've done it in the past.
Right.
So there haven't been any profound material decisions that I've had to make with it, and I think I kind of enjoy that.
For Saurabh, if you weren't a CTO, what would you be doing instead?
I would probably be a teacher somewhere.
Really?
I'm not kidding. I think I
Wow.
have a good teaching skills.
Huh?
My team agrees. So yeah, I'd probably be a teacher somewhere.
That's
I
amazing.
know my grandfather was one. He was a grammar teacher. So
Oh.
it runs in the family.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So I think this has been an amazing podcast as we're at the end of it. So if you all have any questions, if you all have any questions regarding Salesforce, regarding Arcus Partners, what you can do is you can comment. We'll be putting links, the website link, all our LinkedIn pages, Instagram pages, YouTube pages that we have, so that you can check us out. And for Gerry and Saurabh, we request you all to look into the camera and just tell us this experience that was, and just ask them to like, subscribe, and follow us on our channel.
Well, for me, it's always nice to talk about Arcus and the business again, because for us, it's about getting people to know who Arcus is and what we're capable of helping them solve for their business. And so, for me, this experience is about educating.
Amazing. And you'll have to ask them to like, follow, and subscribe.
Like, follow, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Saurabh, for you?
Yeah, and it's really great to talk about everything that we're doing, and thank you, Mayuresh, for having us. We really appreciate it. And I've known Mayuresh for years. I think he's doing an excellent job with Kay Boltaay and some of the other podcasts he runs. He's really bringing he's really getting some great talent on his show. People that we don't know about, people who are contributing to society, people that are contributing to their own industry. So I think you're doing a great job, Mayuresh, and thank you again for having us, and like and subscribe.
Thank you.
Thank
I think
you.
we're good.